The International Religious Freedom Summit takes place this week, a gathering of interfaith leaders and politicians led by Ambassador Sam Brownback and former chair of the U.S. Religious Freedom Commission, Katrina Lantos-Swett. This annual gathering in Washington, D.C. takes a close look at countries where there are high levels of government or societal restrictions on religion and where they have been steadily increasing around the world. A large delegation from Hungary made the trek here to the United States to take part. A country with a strong Catholic and Christian presence, the Hungarian people are working to ensure religious freedom around the world, particularly through their Hungary Helps program. We're honored to be joined in studio today by Trisztán Azbej, the Hungarian State Secretary for the Aid of Persecuted Christians and the Hungary Helps program. Secretary Azbej, welcome. To start, what can you share with us about the recent projects of the Hungary Helps program, especially in light of the unrest that we're seeing in the Middle East and elsewhere in the world?
First of all, thank you for inviting me to the show. It is great to be back to EWTN.
Of course.
Regarding our program for supporting persecuted Christians, we have started this program 7 years ago. We have done so because of two reasons. One is that Christians are the most persecuted religious group in the world by far. There are several surveys and research which has resulted and demonstrated that there are more than 300 million followers of Christ in the world who have to suffer persecution, terrorist attacks, and discrimination because of their faith. The other reason why we have started a unique government program to support persecuted Christians is that because Hungary is a 1,000-year-old proud Christian nation, and there are not many countries and governments in the world, especially in the West, who still dare to say so. But we observe Christianity as the main force that helped us to keep our nationhood for 1,000 years along. You have asked about our recent programs.
Yes.
Well, when the program has started, initially it was a response to the atrocities ISIS, the Islamic State, has committed against Christians and Yazidis in Iraq and Syria. Nowadays, the focus of murderous Christian persecution has shifted to Africa. So if you ask me about our latest project is that we provide life-saving humanitarian support to the Christians in Nigeria. They are in great need of support. You might have heard the news that last Christmas 300 Christians were murdered by jihadist Fulani militants in Nigeria.
Yes.
But according to recent reports, there were at least 5,000 Christians overall who were murdered last year because of their faith in one country, and that is Nigeria. So this is our our latest project. But we do also provide scholarships in Hungary for the oppressed Catholics in Nicaragua. And we have also started aid programs for Christians in several parts of the world, in the Middle East and beyond.
It's so important that you're bringing these atrocities to light and aiding these people. From your perspective, Secretary, how are these conflicts currently affecting the Hungarian people, your families, and so on? I know that in your work you encourage and you equip Christians to be happy and safe in their own homelands. Talk to me about why you take that perspective and that goal.
Well, we show our Christian solidarity to the persecuted worldwide, and this is from our very near historical experience. In the last century, Hungary and Hungarians had to endure the communist dictatorship, which was anti-church, which oppressed Christians, which has even murdered Hungarian clergymen. So this is a very close experience for us. So therefore, we know that we owe this solidarity for those who are persecuted. But we see another type of anti-Christianity on the rise in Europe and in Western countries as well. These are not yet violently persecuting Christians, but they are against Christianity as an ideology. They are trying to violate the freedom of speech and human rights of Christians, even in Europe, in the name of the so-called political correctness and the woke ideology. Hungary makes sure that these aggressive, totalitarian, anti-Christian ideologies cannot gain ground in Hungary. And we protect family, we protect marriage, and we protect life in Hungary.
Yes, and your impact on surrounding nations is an important one, given all of those strong convictions that you just mentioned, your pro-life, your pro-family values that you and your countrymen hold. Can you speak a little more to Hungary's current pro-life policies?
Hungary has a family-friendly government. We place our family-friendly policies in the center of almost all of the measures of the Hungarian government. There is a pragmatic and a practical reason for that. Hungary had a declining population for 4 decades now, and we choose not to compensate that with migration. We want Hungarian families to have more children. And Hungarian young couples, they do desire more children than they actually give birth to. So we found that the role of the government and the state in this case is to ease any financial burden. We want having children in Hungary a beneficial one. So we have introduced radical pro-family policies. I give you one example. In Hungary, if a woman gives birth to 4 children, then she is completely exempt from personal income tax for the rest of her life.
Wow.
You heard it right. For the rest of her life, she is completely exempt. But we give state subsidy for family homes and housing for couples and families with many children. And we contribute more than 4% of our GDP, our gross national domestic product, to family subsidies and other financial incentives. And something that is very important, these allowances are not distributed and awarded from the birth of a child, but from the conception. In this way, without any restrictive measures, we promote for Hungarian families, we enable them to have more children, and it actually worked. The numbers show that without any restrictive measures, over the course of a little bit more than 1 decade, the number of abortions in Hungary has dropped by 50%.
Well, Secretary Azbej, we're grateful for the work that you are doing to spread truth in the world. God bless you, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you. God bless you too.